everyone, and welcome back to Gridiron and Grace. Today's video is going to be a fall cook with me marathon, and I'm also going to have some new recipes at the end. I really hope you enjoy, and I would appreciate a big thumbs up if you do. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to share a crock pot recipe. So this is called tortellini soup. And I took a couple of different recipes and kind of made my own version of it, but we love it and we've been eating it this way for years. So to my crock pot, I have already added 2 pounds of ground sausage. Any kind that you like will do. I usually do Jimmy Dean's, but they didn't have any this time, so I just got the kind from Walmart. So I have browned that and added that to my crock pot. To my sausage, I'm going to add salt and pepper. Just pour that right on top. And then you're going to add 1 can of undrained Rotel. The recipe actually called for 2 cans, but we don't like that much Rotel, so I'm just deciding to do 1. And then you're going to put spinach on top of that. Even if you don't like spinach, it's okay because my husband doesn't either, but it will cook way down. And you really can't taste it that much. So I just kind of put it enough in there to cover the Rotel. Okay, and on top of that, you're gonna add 2 bags of cheese tortellinis. I've already got them cut open here. I'm just gonna pour those right on top. And I just get these from Walmart. They're just a great value cheese tortellinis. So that goes on top of your spinach. Okay, on top of the tortellinis, I have diced up a block of cream cheese. Sorry, I couldn't do that one-handed. But I've diced that up and sat that on top. And then on top of that, you're going to pour a whole carton of beef broth. Just kind of pour that in, and that is what liquid the soup is going to cook in. Okay, and that is all that you do. And then you're going to turn it on. And it's going to cook on low for about 3 to 3.5 hours. So I'm just going to put it on 4 hours. And then we're going to come back and check it. And I'll try to come in here and stir it about every hour or so, just to kind of mix all that stuff together. So it's going to cook, like I said, for about 3 to 3.5 hours on low. And then you're going to add 1.5 cups of warm milk, and it's going to cook another 30 to 45 minutes. But I'll show you that when we get to that point. But this is just a very easy recipe, and it's so good, especially when it's on a cold day like today. Right now it's 46 where I live, and the high is going to be about 60. So we will enjoy this nice warm soup later. Okay, I have warmed up 1.5 cups of warm milk, and I'm just pouring that right on top, and I'm going to give that a good stir. This is one of our favorite soups to make in the fall and winter time when the air starts to turn cool and crisp outside, and it's just so easy. Throw it in the crock pot, and it's always a great weekend meal. Okay, now it is time to share some delicious game day recipes. Kenny actually smoked 2 different things on this Saturday. And so I filmed it because I wanted to include it in this video as well, because who doesn't love some good game day food ideas?
The first one is smoked bologna, and we just had a chub of bologna, and he was scoring it just a second ago, and he's just going to rub it with mustard, and then we are going to put some seasoning. You can use whatever seasoning you want on top of it. He's just going to get that all rubbed on top, and then it's going to go in the smoker. And this cooked for about 4 hours. And then we're also going to make, he said these were called poor men's burnt ends. And so you're going to use hot dogs instead of the actual like pork that you usually do for burnt ends. And he's doing the same thing, just coating them with mustard and the seasoning. And these cooked for about, I think, about an hour and a half. So they cooked a little bit less than the bologna. So I'm just showing you him prepping them right here, and then we're going to put them in the smoker. As you can see, the bologna on top's been cooking for a while. And this was the first time that we had either one of these, and they were very good. We're going to make some like sliders with the bologna, but you'll see that in just a moment. So I'm just showing you right here, he's putting these on the smoker. Once the hot dogs were finished, we're going to take them off, and then he's going to cut them in little bite-sized pieces. And to those, we're also going to add some brown sugar as well as our favorite barbecue sauce. I'm going to share that in just a moment. We're just going to get these cut up, and then once you put the brown sugar and barbecue sauce on them, you're just going to stir those all up, and then they're going to cook in the smoker for a little bit longer. And he's also going to put some pats of butter on top as well. So here we go again, pressing rewind. My dream materialized, and there were you. I'm struggling to realize it's true. At this point, the bologna didn't have much longer in the smoker, so we're going to go ahead and prep the bread for the sandwiches, and we're just using some sweet Hawaiian rolls, and he just cut those in half, and we're going to put mayonnaise all over them as well as mustard. And then we're also going to put cheese on there. You can leave the cheese off if you don't want it, but we just put sliced cheese on there on the top part of the buns. Down in the secret conference room, emotions are running high. Before we take the bologna off, he is just going to baste it with some barbecue sauce and let it fall in those grooves. And then we're just going to get this all sliced up and ready to go on the sandwiches. So you see him, he's just using his electric knife right here, and then we get them on the sandwiches, and we're just going to spray the top with spray butter. And these are going to cook in the oven just until the cheese is melted. These were so good. Like I said, this was the first time we had either one of these recipes, but they're definitely something we'll be making again. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing some yummy fall game day foods. The first recipe I'm going to be sharing is a crock pot cheese dip, and you're just going to cook this in your crock pot, and I'm going to show you all the ingredients that you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is this 2-pound Velveeta block of cheese, and I always spray my crock pot just so it doesn't stick, especially if I'm not using a crock pot liner. But you're going to drop your cheese right in the bottom. To the top of that, you're going to add ground sausage and ground hamburger meat. I already got mine browned, but I'm just going to pour that right on top. Next, Next, you're going to need a block of cream cheese, and I just diced mine up so that it would melt a little bit better. And once I pour it on top, I'm just going to separate that cream cheese so it's not all in one place. And also, when you get that in there, you're going to add a can of cream of mushroom and also a can of cream of chicken. I also went ahead and salt and peppered my meat while I was browning it, but other than that's the only spices I added. Next, you're going to put in your desired amount of Rotel. I use about half a can for ours, but you can use as much or as little as you like. Once all of my ingredients are in there, I'm going to put my top on, and this cooks on low for about 4 hours, and I do stir it occasionally while it's cooking. Also, right before it gets finished, when it has like 30 minutes left, we do pour in a little bit of milk just to help it be a little bit more creamy, but you can leave that out if you would like yours more thick. This is always so good, and we usually serve this with Scoops chips. The next recipe is ham roll-ups, and these are all the ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need your choice of sandwich ham, tortillas, ranch mix, and cream cheese. Before you do anything, you're going to take your ranch and cream cheese and you're going to warm it up in the microwave and then combine it together. This is what you're going to put on top of your tortillas, and then you just layer it with ham. I'm going to show you right here me making a few of them and just kind of show you the process of it. Depending on how big your slices of ham are will determine if you need to use 1 or 2 pieces. Since these were a little bit smaller, I'm just using 2, and I'm just showing you what it looks like when it's all rolled up. I usually put mine in a glass dish, which you'll see over here to the side. So once I get them all together, I'm going to cover it with tinfoil. You can either use plastic wrap or tinfoil, and I put it in the refrigerator for a few hours just so it can harden a little bit before we slice them. And this is them all rolled up, and like I shared, I'm going to put them in the refrigerator covered until we get ready to eat them. And whenever it's time for them to come out, you just take them, and I just slice them in like bite-sized roll-ups, and this is what it looks like whenever they are all sliced up. This is such an easy appetizer and a really good football Saturday game food.
Okay, the next recipe and last one that I'm going to share is a Cajun casserole, and I'm including this in our fall football game day foods because we're actually making this to feed the football team. I've shared before that my husband's a football coach, but I just want to show you real quick everything that goes in there because we are going to feed them tomorrow. What I love about this dish, you can really have it anytime, but it's just extra good in the fall, but you don't have to pre-cook anything. It all cooks together in the oven. So very simple, and it is delicious. So you're going to need ground beef, sausage. I do 2 packs just because we like a lot of sausage. You're going to need onion. I go ahead and get the diced onion. Cabbage, I go ahead and do the shredded cabbage, but you could cut up a head of cabbage if you want to. Rotel, rice, Cajun seasoning, and then you're going to pour a little bit of water. So we're going to go ahead and get our sausage chopped up, and then I'll show you how we're going to layer it. And this is going to cook in a cast iron Dutch oven. In your oven, it takes about 2 hours, but you can totally make this ahead of time Like I have made it the night before and then cooked it the next day, and it just stays in the refrigerator. So simple and so very good. So let's get this sausage cut up so we can layer it and get it cooking.
Lost again, going back around, dreaming of a time when I get things right. Lost in the shadows of a million stars. Shouldn't they enlighten my near and far? Shouldn't they at all just tell me where you are? Send a prayer if I'm out of luck. Send a little love and I'll make it back. Send me a letter and a bottle of wine, telling me I will be fine. Baby, I'm stuck with a halfway heart. Slip away if I come too far.
We're going to spray our cast iron oven with some non-stick spray just so everything cooks and it doesn't stick. In the very bottom, we're going to put our ground beef.
Halfway hard, halfway hard. Sing to me if I lose.
On top of our ground beef, we put our sausage, and you can season this at whatever layer you like, but I always like to put my seasoning on top of my meat. So once I get my 2 layers of meat, my ground beef and my sausage, then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Cajun seasoning, and I'm going to be using Tony Chachere's, but you can really use any kind of spice or seasoning that you like. This is just what we use in ours. Next, you're going to put in 1 cup of rice, and on top of your rice, you're going to put your onion. The next layer is going to be your cabbage, and then the last layer is the rotel. So we put our cabbage and then the rotel on top of that. And then it calls for a little bit of water, so what I do is I just fill up my rotel can about halfway full of water and pour that right on top. Once you have your casserole put together, it's going to cook at 325 in the oven for an hour for the first round. Once it's been cooking for an hour, we're going to remove it from the oven, and we're going to stir everything up really good just so that we make sure everything that's on the bottom has a chance to come to the top, and we don't want anything to burn. So I'm just going to get this all stirred up really good, and then it's going to go back in the oven at 325, or if you see that it's cooking kind of fast, you can turn the heat down to 300, but it's going to go back in the oven for another about 45 to 50 minutes.
I was lost without any direction. Had a line so many times, but I needed attention. No matter what I say, no matter my regrets, things still been said and done. There's not a part of me that wants to say no, but I have realized I had to let.
And this is what it looks like whenever it is finished cooking. This is one of our favorite dishes, and you can put the layers together and leave it in the refrigerator overnight, cook it the next day. You can do like I did, cook it, let it cool, put it in the refrigerator, and just heat it up the following day. So many ways to serve this. Hey y'all, happy Halloween. I shared in my bucket list video that I wanted to make some chili on Halloween so that we could eat it before we took Rowdy trick-or-treating. And I actually got all that together last night, put it in the crock pot, and so it'll be ready to go this morning, just to make life a little easier. We are getting ready to go to work, but I'm going to flip the camera around and show it to you, tell you what's in it, and then I'm going to get it turned on low so it'll be ready to eat tonight. Okay, so I browned the hamburger meat, and it takes 2 pounds of hamburger meat with salt and pepper, and then 2 to 3 cans of chili beans, 1 pack of Chili-O seasoning, 2 cans of tomato sauce, 1 can of tomatoes, and then you sprinkle brown sugar on top. So I got all that together last night and just put it in the fridge overnight. So it is real easy, just pop in the crock pot today. So I'm just going to turn it on, and this is going to cook on low. I'm going to do 6 hours, and then my crock pot will turn itself to warm. So that will be ready to go whenever we get home today, and we can eat before we take Rowdy trick-or-treating. So we'll see you later tonight, and I'll show you how the chili turns out, and also Rowdy's Halloween, and a few clips of us trick-or-treating this year. Rowdy, say happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Where are you going tonight? What are you going to go do tonight? You going trick-or-treating?
Yeah.
What are you going to be for Halloween?
I'm found my boots on.
A fireman with your boots on. And our chili has been cooking all day. Ooh, sorry. Kind of fogged up the phone. But it is cooking, and so I just have that on warm, so that will be ready to go whenever we get ready to eat. Chili on Halloween is one of my favorite Halloween traditions that we started a few years ago, and I look forward to it every year with my family. Happy fall, friends. See you in the next one. Bye. Now we are making Louisiana gumbo. We are going to start by just getting everything chopped up. I'm going to start by chopping up an onion, and Kenny is going to be chopping up things too, everything that we need for this gumbo recipe. So we are making a chicken sausage gumbo. You can see that I was cutting up the onions and peppers and celery, and Kenny was working on the meat. He's going to get that cooking in our cast iron Dutch oven. This was the first time that we had ever made gumbo, but it turns out so good.
I can feel there is somebody here. And he's watching over me tonight as he takes away my fears. Lets me know there's a heaven up there. Yeah, he's reaching out his hand to me to wash away my tears. Oh, I know you, and I praise you. Got my arms open for your love. Oh, I want to be near you. I hear angels from up above. They sing hallelujah. They sing hallelujah. I can see though my eyes are wrong.
These are the different spices that we are using for our gumbo, and then in just a moment Kenny's going to start on the roux. And for the roux, you're going to need 1/4 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of oil, and you're going to mix that together until you have gotten the consistency that you want. Once you have gotten to the consistency that you're looking for, and you can add oil and flour as needed. You'll see that Kenny did have to add a little bit more flour to ours, but once you get it to the consistency that you're looking for, you're going to add chicken broth as much or as little as you want, depending on how thick or thin you want your roux to be.
I hear angels from above. They sing hallelujah. They sing hallelujah.
Now we're just combining everything together, and we did add some garlic, like minced garlic, as well as some more Tony sasheries, and then it's just going to stir and cook together on the stove.
I can feel there is somebody here, and he's watching over me tonight as he takes away my fears. Oh, I know.
And this is what the gumbo looks like when it is all finished. And I just cooked some rice in our rice cooker, and we poured the gumbo on top of it, and it was so good, especially for the first time that he ever made it. So definitely we'll be making this again. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I would absolutely love for you to subscribe if you're new and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the very next one. On this particular day, Kenny was going to be cooking our pork belly on the smoker in 2 different ways. So you can see right here, he already has this cut up into little chunks, and then on this half he left it whole because this is going to be sliced up to make bacon after it is cooked. And he just seasoned it with some of our favorite barbecue rub from Hey Grill Hey. So we are just going to put this on the smoker, and this is going to cook for several hours, and I'm just showing you what it looks like whenever we get it on the smoker, and it smells so good. I love the way that the wood chips smell in the smoker. Alright, so with our pork belly, we're also going to make some smoked baked beans. And Kenny kind of made his own version of this from another recipe he found. But for this, you're going to need 1 pound of sausage, 1 pound of bacon, half of a chopped onion, 2 cans of baked beans, and we like to use the Bush's Original, garlic powder, and that's just to taste, so your preference. You're going to need 1/4 cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of brown mustard, but we're going to be using this Carolina mustard today. Hot sauce just to taste, to your preference. 1/2 cup of barbecue sauce. And you're going to cook the onion and sausage together, and then combine all the ingredients, and then the bacon is going to go on top of your beans. And this is going to smoke at 250 to 275 for 3.5 hours. So now that we've gotten the pork belly on the smoker, I'm going to start prepping the beans, and I'll share with you what all goes in this recipe. Kenny found a similar recipe to this and then just kind of put his own spin on it, and I don't really even like baked beans, and I could eat these by themselves. They are truly so good, but I'm going to go ahead and get the sausage and onion chopped up so we can start sauteing that. I try to cut our sausage pretty thin. I just feel like it sautés easier. You definitely don't have to saute the onions if you wanted to leave them just crunchy, but we like ours to be soft, so I go ahead and chop those up and we just saute them with the sausage, and it makes my whole house smell incredible. I told Kenny, I was like, one day I just want to saute the sausage and onions, even if it's not going in the baked beans, and just eat it because it smells heavenly. I would love for you to leave me a comment down below and let me know if you enjoy these types of videos. I know I am putting several recipes that I've shared over, the months of my channel, just different cooking videos together in one for this marathon. But if you enjoy these videos, definitely let me know down below and I can make more of them. Now that all of the chopping is done, I'm going to start adding all the other ingredients in this bowl. And this is the same thing that I shared with you whenever I went over all the ingredients that were in here. So we're just going to get these all put together in this bowl, and I'm going to mix them up. And Kenny is starting to saute the onions and sausage at this point, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And then we're going to add it all together. And I'm telling you, if you don't even if you don't like baked beans, I really recommend you trying this recipe because it's so good. They have such a sweet taste to it, and I promise you won't be disappointed. So I usually don't use measuring spoons, measuring cups whenever I am cooking. As you can see right here, I was struggling and making a mess. So I think I'm just going to stick to my rule where I just measure with my heart. Now that all of these ingredients are together, I'm just going to get them stirred up really well, and then I will show you what the onions and sausage are looking like at this point. Like I said, it was smelling so good and was making me excited to get this cooked so we could enjoy it. And just when I thought I was done chopping, I forgot that the bacon had to be cut up to go on top. So I just took about half of the pack of bacon, cut that bacon in half, and then just made little squares out of it and placed it all on top of our baked beans. And now these are ready to go on the smoker, and this is what it looks like whenever everything is done cooking. This was so good. We served it with potato salad on this night, but make sure to leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed this video and you would like more recipes. I can sure share those. Definitely let me know if you would like to see more videos like that, and I will see you all in the very next one, friends. Bye. Now that I've shared some old recipes that I have shared on my channel before, we are going to look at some new fall recipes. I feel like these are also perfect for fall college football game days. That's when we personally made these, so I hope you enjoyed these new recipes as well.
The first recipe we're going to make is smoked street corn dip, and this is everything you're going to need. You're going to need a pound of pepper jack, 2 blocks of cream cheese, sour cream, garlic, frozen corn, and then it also called for tahini, which I couldn't find in my local store, so I'm just going to kind of make my own version of that using lemon juice, salt, crushed red pepper, and chili powder. So we're going to put this all together, and it's going to cook on the smoker.
We did decide just to use 1 bag of the corn once we got it in the container, and then I'm just going to kind of break apart this cheese and put the cream cheese on top. I'm using fresh garlic in mine because I had some that needed to be used, but you can use minced garlic as well. All of these seasonings you can just use to your preference. I just kind of eyeballed it and put in the amount that I thought we would want, but again, just adjust it to what you prefer. Once you have all of your ingredients put together, this is going to cook on the smoker at 225 for about 2.5 to 3 hours. And every hour we went out there and stirred it just so nothing would stick and it would all be combined well. This next recipe is baked bean cornbread, and you're going to need 3 packs of cocktail sausages, 2 cans of baked beans, 2 cans of cornbread mix, 2 eggs, and bacon. And you're just going to combine this all, and it's going to cook in the oven. You're also going to need about 1/2 cup of milk. Now that I have all of my other ingredients combined, I'm just going to start cutting up this bacon, and it's just going to go right on top, and then you're going to mix it all together. I just use my scissors to make life easier on this day. I'm just going to get all of this combined, and then Kenny went ahead and put the cocktail weenies in the bacon dish, and then I'm just going to pour the baked beans right on top. And this is what the cornbread mixture looks like when it was all stirred together. And then you're just going to pour that right on top of your little cocktail weenies and baked beans. We did go out there and stir our corn dip and kind of help break up that cream cheese when it had been cooking for about an hour. And then this is what it looks like whenever it was completely done. This was so good and definitely a recipe we'll be making again. Meanwhile, our cornbread baked beans were cooking at 350 degrees in the oven. And then when we brought our corn dip in and gave it a good stir, I did go ahead and sprinkle it with some like white queso cheese. And then we just ate it with Scoops chips. Alright friends, well I so hope that you enjoyed today's video, this fall food marathon, cook with me, sharing just some of our favorite recipes to make in the fall time, as well as sharing a few new recipes. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. I will definitely share more cooking videos in the fall. I love to do that this time of year. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye!